Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. It is already Wednesday, May 7th. And I want to say thank you for all you folks tuning in. Thank you for being in the comments. Thank you for sharing this out. And if I could I get you to like the stream, guys? That really helps out with the algorithm, brings some more folks in here, and helps grow the channel, guys. Let me jump into some of the comments really quick. We got a couple different things to talk about before we get into the comments. So there's a little outrage going on right now with Republicans. I agree, Speaker Mike Johnson. It looks like they've canceled some votes this week that would have defunded, took away your tax dollars away from PBR, NPR, and some other stuff, Trump's agenda. And a lot of people are calling out Mike Johnson for canceling those votes. An update on the Epstein files, guys. So there's been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation, a lot of people saying Attorney General Pam Bondi's got to go. That was one of the things. And I'll be honest with you. I think it was important, but I don't know anybody that literally voted for Trump for that. But when they get upset, they put that out there. Like my major thing was the border. I'm not going to lie to you, and deportations. Because again, when your country's infiltrated with people that hate it, it's not going to go too well. So we're going to talk about that. Her comment on the Epstein files, she says that there is thousands of videos, pornographic videos with Epstein that the FBI has to go through. And I was thinking, I would not want that job. I would not want that job. I'll talk about that here in a little while. But the FBI and Attorney General Pam Bondi did announce they arrested another group of over 200 child sexual predators. And so we got that. And then we got the hearings on Capitol Hill. Scott Bessent, you're going to like it. You're going to like it. Let me jump over here. It says, oh, wow, Texas Bigfoot got 2 raffle tickets. Thank you, Texas Bigfoot. Cade, Texas says, made it. Howdy, Josh and the Oreo Army. I sent a Zelle on Monday. Hope you received it. Thank you so much, Cade, Texas. Thank you for all your guys' support and everything. Also, Haha just sent over a Venmo. She's into the drawing as well. So thank you, Haha. Appreciate you. C. Marsha sent one as well. Thank you, C. Marsha. I appreciate you all. We are working hard, guys. We can't do it without you and your support. Your support is what brings us live every day. Who else we got? Texas Bigfoot, Hunter, Deb V, Susan K. Spencer. Let's get down here because I don't see. Oh, there's old Uncle Bill. I was just gonna end the live, guys. I was just gonna hit end really quick and start over from scratch. Tard with a hard R. Got to be careful saying that hard R these days. Well, then again, sometimes you say that hard R, you can become a millionaire. Karen Sunflower's in the house. Thank you, Karen. Shared to 3 sites. It helps us out more than you know when you guys share this out. And Chris B says, hey, hello, Josh and everyone. So we're gonna get into the show, guys. Thank you once again for tuning in on this beautiful Wednesday. May 7th. I hope just a forewarning because I am bad at this stuff. Mother's Day is coming. It's this Sunday. So if you haven't got your mom anything, make sure you get out and get it now, because we tend to forget. We tend to have a lot of things on our minds, and sometimes you're with people that don't let you forget it. I haven't heard it yet that it was Mother's Day from, the mother. But we're going to do something. I was thinking a new vacuum cleaner or some scrub brushes, so that way the mother can keep the house a little extra clean. Don't cancel me. No, she always gets mad because I am so big on kitchen appliances and stuff and little stuff. And then when I hear her say she wants one, I'm like, boom, I'm going to get her one for like Mother's Day or something. And then she goes, wow, I got a vacuum sealer for Mother's Day. You know what? There's people in Africa that don't have vacuum sealers. They don't even have no food to put in the vacuum sealer. So be happy. So there's Haha. Thank you, Haha, for the Venmo donation. Appreciate your guys' support. I seen this video I'm going to show you. I still got it. It's going away, but I still got it. Colorado Democrats invoke trans Jesus. Listen to this.
This email, I'm going to end it here, says, basically, I'm accountable to Almighty God because I'm standing up for equality. That my decisions one day, I will stand before him and be accountable. Well, this is what I believe. You ever seen that movie, Talladega Nights? And you see that section where they're talking around the dinner table and they're talking about what their favorite version of Jesus is. All right, baby Jesus. I love baby Jesus. And the guy goes, well, I love Leonard Skinner Jesus when angels are behind him and the choir is singing and he's playing Freebird. Well, my day of judgment, I might be standing in front of trans Jesus. I don't know.
His day of judgment, he might be standing in front of trans Jesus. Welcome to Colorado, folks. Welcome to the demonic party of the Democrats. Man, mock Jesus. See where that gets you. And you know what? Again, this shouldn't surprise any of us. Obviously, you kind of know who you're going to stand in front of if you read the Bible. And if you read the scriptures and understand the Bible, you will know that you're not going to be standing in front of a trans Jesus. Actually, you're probably going to burn in eternal hell. You will burn in eternal hell if you die thinking that same thing. And I just thought that was just insane to hear, on in the Colorado Senate. Crazy. Check this out. This is a wild scene in California. The other day we showed you the video of the people in Tennessee. There was some people, I think it was a Foot Locker or a shoe store in Tennessee, and people locked the door on the robbers and held them inside until the police came. I'm like, I can do that. Like, that would be good stuff. Well, this one looks like a guy tried to carjack a Tesla, and it didn't go very well for him. It was at a red light. Gavin Newsom's California. You stop to a red light, you don't know what's going to happen. I want you to take a look at it.
That's not me. Get him, bro. Just get him. That's not me. He's trying to rob him.
Move out of this car right now. You gotta move. Drive off right now. Just drive off.
No, he can't. He can't.
Better move out his fucking car right now. Are you sure? Are you sure? Right now. Sure.
Bro, pull him. Just pull him. Not right now. Just help you.
Out of this car. Get out the car. Get out this man's car. Why are you trying to stay on this man's car? Let go of this shit. Let go of this shit. You got about 3 seconds. This ain't your fucking car. Let go. Get out of his fucking car.
I'll put it better.
Nah, watch out.
There we go. Now what?
Now what?
Witness trying to contact this guy. Will not let go. This me right here.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, and it's great because you want to see the American people standing up for each other, right? You want to see, hey, you know what? It's not safe being out in California in many places. And to know that people are starting to. This is something that would have happened 15, 20 years ago on a regular occasion. When people seen things going wrong, they jumped in. Nowadays, they don't do anything because, again, we went through this Democrat political correctness area that, like, the guy that ripped the guy out of that Tesla, he would have got charges 5 years ago. He would have been called a racist because the criminal was black. And now we're getting back to some common sense like, nah, love thy neighbor. We're going to protect thy neighbor. And I'm love seeing this. I love seeing this. And surprisingly enough, the police showed up. And I'm sure they got a lot of 911 calls from everybody watching. But just imagine that. Just imagine just being at the stoplight. You know, you're 7 cars back and you see all this going on. And a lot of the videos we show you guys, when there's something crazy going on, you see people all the time just walk by. They won't even look at what's going on. Like, this is normal. I remember, I think I was with Taco Joe, maybe I think it was Taco Joe, and we were in San Francisco. And they have all these drug addicts and homeless people out there doing stuff, fighting. I mean, it was going crazy. And people are just moseying on by. And I'm like, you allow this to happen by not doing anything. If something happens in my neighborhood, we stand up against it. Again, we have a great police force, but nothing can police your neighborhood like the neighbors. You got to be alert. You got to be aware. That was interesting to see. I was glad to see it, and crazy. Speaking of crazy Democrats, Colorado. And we're going to get into this because we talked about Idaho the other day, and they actually voted on that bill. Colorado House just passed a radical transgender bill. If you want to know what this bill does, it makes misgendering a discriminatory act. You heard that right. So if there's a guy pretending to be, wearing woman face and pretending to be a woman, and you correctly identify them, you are now engaged in a discriminatory act. Takes children away from parents who dead name or misgender. So you have a child that's going through a mental health crisis. You're working on giving that child some love, some compassion, and what we call truth. You're not going to call Brian Brianna. It's not going to happen. You're not going to cave into the illness that you're trying to solve. And it also pushes gender ideology in schools. Now, this passed, it was House Bill HB 251312. It passed with 40 yeses, 24 noes. So I urge those folks in Colorado, if you can, and I know it's difficult, do whatever you can to homeschool. But not just that, fight on a local level. We actually got some other stuff we're going to be playing where local is bigger than you think. And again, they're doing this in Colorado. Yeah, the attorney general might go after the state. The Trump administration might go after the state. But in the meantime, I promise you, and I wasn't at this House meeting where they were passing this bill, but I promise you there wasn't 5,000 parents there that are against this. The parents sat on their ass at home, and now they're going to go complain about it. And it's kind of their fault. If you stand up and you fight this stuff, at least it's getting exposed a little bit more. And I could tell you, we just had that bill in California that Democrats were fighting for 16 and 17 for it not to be a felony. They wanted, Republicans, normal people, wanted it to be a felony for adult rapists who purchased 16 and 17-year-olds for sex. They wanted it to be a felony, right? Democrats said no. Within 4 days of outrage here in California and them getting exposed, they changed it. Democrats came back to the table. Because guess what? This demonic way of thinking is backfiring. People that aren't even political are like, are you kidding me? You want me to do what? So now we're going to move into Idaho land. You know, I just want to say, or is it in Idaho? Let me see. Give me 1 second. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Oklahoma. I was thinking Idaho. Boise City, Oklahoma. I was thinking Boise, Idaho when I covered this the other day, so my apologies. So the Boise City Council, maybe, let me check one thing. I haven't been stump-liked. See, let me pull something up. It is Boise, Idaho. Mayor Lauren McLean. Okay, so I wasn't wrong. But you guys noticed what a good guy I was when I thought I was wrong. I admitted my wrong. Boise City Council just passed a resolution to recognize the pride flag as an official city flag to circumvent Idaho law, which only allows the city, the state, and the federal flag. Remember, these are taxpayer-funded. That is our people's house. And those government buildings, we pay for those. And so the Boise City Council just passed a resolution to recognize the pride flag as an official city flag. Now, I don't know. I was talking about that other guy in Colorado that was saying maybe when it's his time to go, maybe he'll be standing in front of trans Jesus. This is crazy. I'll show you the video here.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, thank you. The motion passes.
The motion passes. So the pride flag is going to be I want to talk about two things here. One, do you remember in the Bible all the cities that went against God, all the places that went against God and how they were destroyed and evil came upon them? I wonder about that. I've always wondered about Fresno with Pride Flag Dyer. This is a move that he would do. That's Jerry Dyer, the mayor of Fresno. But why? So they're not doing this for adults, guys. They're not doing this for some 45-year-old. They're doing this because it indoctrinates the children. They normalize things. And it's not normal to worship what somebody does in the bedroom. I don't care what you do. Go do your thing in the privacy of your home, just like I do my thing in the privacy of my home. But for where we are today and the fact that you literally have cities going against the state, going against really what we would consider a lot of executive orders to get this this grooming out of our governments. Do you think, I'm going to pull up something really quick. And I can tell you this. Some of the most conservative people I know chose to move to Idaho, not Boise, but there is some very conservative areas, and Idaho was once, I think it was the most pro Second Amendment state. I remember we did a show on it like 4 years ago because we had like 3 or 4 friends that fled California, went to Boise, or not to Boise, Idaho. Boise, Idaho crime statistics. I just want to see what they could be spending their time on. Boise, Idaho has generally lower crime rates compared to other cities of similar size. 261 to 100,000. What is the crime like in Boise? Police data. I'm gonna go through this afternoon. FBI data. I'm gonna go through all that this afternoon because I guess you really have nothing else to do. That this alphabet cult agenda is what's driving your city, what drives this. And like I said, this is sad. This is sad. But again, those folks in Boise, you need to get out there. You need to make your voices heard. You need to show up. If you don't show up, you're done. So Thomas Massey, we talked about this at the beginning of the show. Thomas Massey tweeted this out. Says this wasn't widely covered in the news, so I will tell you. We put it up on the screen for you. Congress was scheduled to vote on recessions this week to cut the waste that Doge found, but the votes were quietly canceled. USAID and other programs like PBS and NPR were to be targeted. Now, there's a lot of outrage online, which there should be. Speaker Mike Johnson seems to be getting too many free passes from Donald Trump, in my opinion. I'll give you that criticism on Donald Trump. Now, maybe there's some things in the background I don't know about, but all the things that Trump is doing and these memorandums and executive orders that he is signing, it is Congress's job to get the ball rolling, right? But what are they doing? They're kicking the can down the road. The answer by Grok was Congress scheduled to vote on recessions this week. Why didn't that happen? And it says in early 2025, House Republican leaders tentatively plan to vote on rescission packages proposed by Donald Trump during the week of May 5th. The package, expected to be sent to Congress in April 2025, aimed to cancel $9.3 billion in previously approved funding, primarily targeting foreign aid programs, the State Department, and public broadcasting entities like PBS and NPR. The rescission process, governed by the Impoundment Control Act of 1974, allows the president to propose canceling appropriated funds, which Congress must approve within 45 days of continuous session via a simple majority vote in both chambers. We're killing ourselves here, guys. We're killing ourselves here. This is not good. This is not good. We need to move this on. Now, check this out. We've been covering the El Salvadorian MS-13 gang members that are the new George Floyd to Democrats, right? We've seen multiple representatives fly over to El Salvador, even seen one of the senators having some margaritas with Kilmar Albrego Garcia. Remember, for quite a while now, he's been known as the Maryland Man. Thought this was interesting. Take a look at this. This was, again, April 14th. Lawyer for wrongly deported Maryland man says it may take a contempt order to get him back. Now, this was yesterday, that same ABC News. The DOJ has been investigating a Tennessee traffic stop in 2022 involving Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Salvadoran man. Notice how they just quietly change it? Notice how now he's the Salvadoran man? I thought he was the Maryland dad. I thought he was just this hardworking guy that was wrongfully deported. What I also find interesting about that ABC article, you hear that it says the DOJ, this is from yesterday, has been investigating the traffic stop. Well, we got an update on that. So remember when we learned about that that law enforcement stop in Tennessee, we watched the dash cam. You had an officer say he's smuggling, he's transporting these people. They're illegal. There's no luggage. He's coming from Texas to Maryland. And he was driving a convicted human trafficker's vehicle. Well, it says the convicted human trafficker who owned the van driven by the MS-13 gang member Kilmar has reportedly told DOJ officials that he paid Garcia to transport illegal aliens from Texas across the country. We knew this. This is who Democrats have been fighting for, folks. Is that not insane? And they're still fighting for him. I think, what was it yesterday? Today's Wednesday. It was yesterday or Monday. I know it was this week. You had more people saying they were going to go to El Salvador and other places to check on the gang members and ensure their safety. They can't even ensure the safety of the American citizens that are their constituents in their areas. And it's backfiring. It's backfiring hugely. Now, we had some hearings up on Capitol Hill, and there's some funny ones. There's some funny ones. Listen to Maxine Waters right here go after Scott Bessent and him correct. Or I just love the way Scott does this. Take a listen.
Prime Minister David.
Very much, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Bessent, this is the first time we've met. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. We actually met one New Year's Eve in the Bahamas. And I was...
He didn't make an impression.
Why
don't I remember that?
Well, you were much better at the electric slide than I was. And I was with the Prime Minister of the Bahamas yesterday, Prime Minister Davis, who sends his regards.
Well, were you with my husband when he was the ambassador to the Bahamas appointed by Clinton?
So,
well, you're not going to like this. And very much, Mr. Chairman.
I just love the way we've never met before. Actually, we were in the Bahamas. Well, listen to this exchange here by batshit crazy Maxine Waters. Take a listen to this. He destroys everybody that went after him. Scott Bessent did.
Did all the individuals working, Mr. Secretary, did all the individuals working with Doge who were given access to treasuries and CFPB's computer databases receive all of the required clearances and security training before they were granted access?
again, they were granted read-only access at Treasury. There were two.
So let me just say,
Doge employees.
please, you can't filibuster here. This is not the filibuster playground. And so what you did was you let these strangers into our treasury with access to all of the data, all of the personnel information, and you just opened the door. Why'd you do that?
No, ma'am. They were Treasury employees.
Oh, are you saying today in front of this committee that All of them were Treasury employees that the 25-year-old who's being identified, who worked for Elon Musk, was allowed into the Treasury? Was that person there?
He was a Treasury employee, as was Tom Kraus, the senior person on the Doge team. There were only two people.
There were Doge employees also.
Sorry?
Do you know, were you aware that there were Doge employees coming into our Treasury getting all of our personal information?
Well, ma'am, there is no such thing as a Doge employee. There were Treasury employees.
I tend to disagree with you based on the information I had. Has any information been downloaded by anyone working with Doge from any of Treasury's or CFPB's computers? Answer yes or no.
Not to my knowledge.
You better learn.
Gentlewoman.
She had that whole thing wrong. And he's just sitting there calmly. Check that out. We got the real POV in the house. That's my J6 brother. That is Benjamin Martin in here. Everybody give Benjamin Martin a shout out. The real POV in the house. He actually texted me something before that I'm going to be working on. I got to call him afterwards that hopefully we can shine some light in the darkness on that. So welcome in the chat, Ben. Good to hear from you, man. We also got soft-spoken Secretary, Treasury Secretary Besant. Listen to this. He's just so cool, calm, and collected. He doesn't get riled up. And he just shoots him back with facts. Listen to this.
President goes.
And I know I'm a racist, guys. That's what they say because I like America first and everything. But I thought this was kind of interesting too. You know, I'm going to say it again. By the end of Trump's administration, if we can't pass something that says you have to be born in America to become to be in any elected office, we have failed this country, especially with everything we've seen lately. When we got Ian Omar and all these other people, and it's hard. Like, I want to listen to my elected leader in the United States of America and understand them like this, right?
Specifically, which countries are you close to striking deals with?
I'm sorry, Congresswoman, but that would not benefit the United States.
No. I'm asking you a question based on the statement that you made on CNBC.
And I am telling you that it would be detrimental to the interest of the United States for me to answer that question.
Why will that be detrimental?
Because as the negotiations may still be in process as we speak, as we are not at the end of the week yet, I am sure that you through your question, would not want to compromise U.S. negotiating.
Reclaiming my time.
Would you?
Secretary Besant, the president goes into a press conference and claims that there are negotiations going on. And then the next day, there's no negotiations going on. So why would you not answer my question? And that will be considered detrimental to the American people, to the American economy. I do not understand. Despite your claim,
I'm happy to say there are negotiations going on. I'm not going to reveal the details.
No filibuster. No filibuster here.
So how long do you think those negotiations will take before they are concluded? And
there are numerous countries, as I have said, if you saw my CNBC interview, which you referenced, that there are 18 important trading partners, and we are moving forward at all deliberate speed with those.
I guess she couldn't understand that she can't be involved in the negotiation process because that's not her job. And the fact that Treasury Secretary Besant is not letting his cards show to the entire world. Hey, you know what? Well, we got this. We're working a deal with over here with India or whatever, and we don't want them to know what Europe's doing, but we're just going to say it right here in the hearing. I thought it was absolutely interesting to see how stupid, and we know these elected leaders are, but listen to this one. Again, he says it so politely. Rep Gregory Meeks, a Democrat out of New York, was just, he got pissed. Watch his face.
Congress. 4 decades, we've had trade deficits in the United States of America, and nobody said it was an emergency? Democratic and Republican presidents? You know what that says to me? That it's not an emergency because it hasn't been for 4 decades. It says to me that we should bring tariffs back to the United States Congress so that we can make that determination as the Constitution has said and not try to go around Congress. It's just unbelievable to me. Let me ask this question. Maybe I'm missed it. Who was the president and who has been the president since January 20th, 2025?
Donald J. Trump.
Okay. And
Watch.
who was the president in 2024?
One believes President Biden.
One believes? You one of those non-believers that the election, the American people didn't vote?
I am not.
You're not? You said one believes? Do you believe in the Constitution of the United States and it should be abided by?
I believe in the Constitution of the United States.
So you believe in it without any second thought. You don't have to think about it. You believe in it and you would abide by it. Is that correct?
I have and I do, sir.
Okay. Well, do you know that a president has said he may or may not? He don't know? Let me ask this question. I couldn't believe my
He just sits there with that little smirk, commerce, just, and that guy just went off. Listen, what do you say at the? Oh, I got.
in 2024.
One believes President Biden.
One believes?
One believes. Oh my gosh, that was a good one for today. I like that. Now listen to some other stuff Scott says out here. Again, we're seeing that Trump's economy, Trump's plans, his policies are working for the American people. To disagree with that would be a lie. I know Democrats want you to believe your gas prices are twice what they were just 6 months ago, but take a listen to this.
Has never worked. I will tell you that the Biden administration exercised with regard to Russia and Ukraine support a big dichotomy. On one hand, they were giving aid to government of Ukraine. On the other hand, their sanctions against the Russian Federation were very, very weak. The sanctions were just against some of the lower level oil companies. There was a price cap that has never worked. On his way out the door in a fit of bravery, the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, raised the sanctions because the Biden administration had been worried about upsetting the oil price, pushing up oil prices during an election year. The Trump administration, through our energy abundance and signaling to the energy markets, crude oil is down about 20% thus far this year. And I read with great interest this morning that Russian Federation revenues were down 12% last month, which will put a dent in the Russian war machine, sir.
So you listen to what he said there at the end, that crude oil is down 20% right now because of Trump's policies. And the Russian generation revenues were down 12% last month, which will put a dent in the Russian war machine. Now, you would think if we're concerned about Russia, that Democrats would be all on board with this. They're not, because they don't care about Russia. They use it as a talking point. They don't want to see the crude oil down 20%. They don't want to see energy become affordable. Donald Trump said when he was running for office, some of these inflationary problems are just because of the cost of energy, the spending of money and the cost of energy. And he's doing what he can to get that fixed. I'll check that out. Matt's in the house. He's driving home from work right now, guys. He's driving home. And really quick, Matt's not in this. Jalen is in this for 2, by the way. Check this out. We do have a raffle going on this week. We might bump up the raffle till Friday. Most likely we'll do it this weekend, but if there's travel involved this weekend, we have to do the raffle earlier. So if you guys want to get in, I'll show you what your donations have an opportunity of getting you. Come on. So this right here, this is a 12 by 15 framed picture here. This is the iconic Donald Trump photo. There's 2 separate photos, the one from underneath with the American flag and the one where you can see that he has blood on his face, his fight, fight, fight. In the bottom right-hand corner, it says Donald Trump, the 45th and 47th president of the United States. It tells you where he was born, what his political affiliation is. And then it says fight, fight, fight. Donald Trump, July 13th, 2024, Butler, Pennsylvania. So that's one of the items. And then you'll get this fun little Trump cards game. It says it's the wackiest card game ever. So what this card game is it has sayings. And you have to choose whether it's fake news or if Donald Trump actually said it. So it'll have quotes. And you can find out, you can play the game. If you guys want to get into this, again, it's the beginning of the month, and I got to tell you something else. We might be trying to travel, so we got to get our bills paid off as soon as possible. And then we are thinking about going to D.C. next month for the military parade that's going on down there. That is on Flag Day, June 14th in Washington, D.C. I was looking today, last night. Plane flights alone, we could probably get for about $460. We're not fundraising for that yet. We want to get the bills paid off, hopefully by the end of this week. So if you guys want to help us out and enter, every $10 donation gets you entered. 1 entry into the raffle. You will get both those items. They will be shipped out to you. We cover the shipping and everything. If you want to donate, you can donate $30 for 3 entries or $10 for 1 entry. Head over to Venmo at OreoJosh, givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. You also have Cash App, $Oreo Army. And then we have a Zelle link on our website. If you do online banking and you want to transfer using Zelle, go to our website, theoreoexpress.com, click the Donate Now button. When you click the Donate Now button, it'll have links. And then you can also do Rumble rants here on Rumble. So if you're on Rumble right now and you hit that $sign and you do $20, that is going to be 2 entries into the raffle. So we want to say thank you for everybody helping us out. And then we're going to have to do something possibly as soon as this weekend to raise money to go to D.C. for that parade that liberals are just triggered about. And as you know, when we get in D.C., we always seem to find some other fun stuff to do. So I don't know the exact date yet. That's why I'm not doing the fundraising for that. I want to get all the data and all the bills paid off first, lights, camera, action, and then we will move on to that. So I want to say thank you everybody who's already joined in. We had Haha join in today. Who else do we have in here? There was somebody else that joined in today, and we can't do it without you guys. So thank you so much. Let's see what else we got. We just got done with Scott. Now we're going to move on to CNN. Listen to this. So the Supreme Court, we covered this. Was it yesterday? I believe we covered this. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of Donald Trump, the ban on transgenders in the military. Now, there's been a lot of speculation on what this costs the military. People are getting in there just to get their surgeries. They're not ready for war. Again, I'm telling you, that should be the last thing you allow into the military is people with severe mental health problems. But You know what? Under the Biden administration, we love that. I want you to listen to this exchange on CNN right now, how this is going to severely cripple our military readiness. You ready?
Decision. Do I stay true to my character, my value?
And you pointed this out. This is going through the court system. The other side has the opportunity to present evidence.
Except for tomorrow, there's going to be thousands of people who wake up and get processed out. The harm will be done.
And I certainly understand that. But again, there's still an opportunity for it to continue through the proper process.
Right, but they wake up tomorrow without a job, being removed from their readiness will be impacted. And so there's commands that are going to be left without leaders. There's going to be real life implications for theaters around the world where our military is protecting this country. And for what end?
Elaine, I guess my point is, if a strong enough evidence is presented throughout the court process, all the way up to SCOTUS, and it's ultimately believed, okay, hey, the other side has enough evidence where we can't rule in favor of the executive, then the executive, I believe, would respect that decision. But we have to allow this thing to move forward and see what was
your experience in the military like? Did you serve after you had transitioned, or?
No, I served before my transition.
So you weren't in during your at all?
No.
Okay.
I came to know that I was transgender while I was serving with a top secret and above clearance. And I knew that I couldn't pass my polygraph test. And so I had to make a tough decision. Do I stay true to my character, my values, my integrity in life? And so I think that the challenge is that the injunction was to allow people to continue to serve while the courts played out. Right? So there would be no harm done to these folks, giving the courts an opportunity to work through these issues so people wouldn't lose their jobs. Now they're going to wake up tomorrow without jobs. They can't just come back in for serving 22 years, waiting for this court case to work its way through for 6, 9 months, 2 years.
So you hadn't so was there a prohibition on you transitioning while you were in the military?
Back in that time, there was a ban against serving if you were the don't ask, don't tell policy.
This was in the mid-90s.
This was in the mid-90s. Yeah.
So,
So our military readiness. Now, I would have to ask myself, Democrats always say, well, transgender people are only 1% of the population. They're not taking away trophies from females, which we know they are. They're not taking away positions from this or that. This guy is insinuating, he's relaying information that would make you believe all our commanders, and might be under Joe Biden, right? We know nobody got their job under Joe Biden based on merit. But to think anybody in their right mind would think that this would somehow cripple our military is absolutely bonkers. This is a good thing for the military. We don't, my tax dollars, I support our military. I love our veterans. I don't want my dollars going for them to mutilate their bodies, though. And I know firsthand that goes on, that our government gives them transition surgery or whatever, the gender mutilization surgery. And I'm pleased with the Supreme Court on that ruling. Now listen to this. This was from somebody that said this liberal. This is the same broadcast on CNN. This says Mr. Shermichael is getting discrimination black-splained to him by a white liberal woman. It's always a white liberal woman that can speak for the black man or somebody of a different color or minority group, right? The white liberal. Listen to this.
Cohesion. And that's exactly the same kind of argument that they made against integrating the military when Harry Truman did it. I'm sorry, it's the same argument. Okay. It's the same.
I mean, is she wrong about that, though?
Okay.
I mean, she is right about that.
Did not want to serve
I'm aware.
White people didn't want to serve black people because of cohesion. So now you're saying gay people.
Can I just?
People
we only have a couple seconds. Shermichael, I see that you're frustrated that she made that argument, but is she wrong that unit cohesion was used as an excuse to keep the military segregated for a long time.
I think we should
and
focus
also
on,
don't ask, don't tell when it comes
we
to
should focus on the issue.
discriminating against gay and lesbian people.
We should focus on the issue at hand. That's bringing up race. Let's just focus on the issue
Well,
at
hey,
hand.
look, it's race.
Because she's a white liberal. The black man says, I don't know why we got to keep bringing up race. Not everything goes back to race. Not everything goes back to racism. There's people with severe mental illnesses in our military. Let's focus on that. That's not military readiness. And this guy's like, let's just focus. And this is, again, white liberal woman has to bring up race as usual. We've seen this all over. We go to the Tesla protest. I call it the Unite the White rally because we went to that one in Dublin a couple weeks ago. There was only one person out of, what would you say, 115 people there. Only one was not white. In the Bay Area of all places. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. What else do we got coming up for you? Check this out. Now, we know Trump's policies. We know what he said he was running on. Deregulation, cutting the red tape. I want you to listen to Pete Buttigieg right here, believe it or not. Take a listen to what he says here.
And the fact that it is so hard to build and do things in this country. And I lived this when I was at the Department of Transportation. We got 20,000 infrastructure projects done, but we could have done more if it were easy that we start in this country, and we could have done it more efficiently with our dollar. There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
So it sounds like an advertisement for Doge, right? This is the same guy who spent $42 billion on rural broadband without connecting a single American because of regulations. This is what Trump runs on. This is what his administration's working on. I don't know if he realized he gave Trump kudos right there for what he's doing, cutting down the red tape, lowering regulations. But there's a lot, every little project. I'm going to use an example. So the other day, 2 days ago, I started draining my pool. We haven't drained it since we lived here. And I just wanted to get out the old hard water, and it's filling back up right now. And so I take the 100-foot hose. It was like with a 2-inch hose with a submersible pump, and we're draining it. And I put it out in the gutter in the streets. And I live in a good area. It flows right in, goes down the street a block and a half away, and goes in the drain. We're sitting out there watching it, making sure everything's working right. And I was like, man, I wonder if they wanted me to pull a permit for this. I don't care if they did or not. But I was like, I wonder if, I should have Googled it. But there's so many things that you want to do. Like, you can't even do construction in your own house anymore without pulling a permit. And I have another buddy that used to be flipping houses, and he was telling me why he stopped flipping houses was because of the delays, the permit processing, the cities, the state regulations. He was like, he goes, there needs to be some regulations, but a lot of these things were just stupid. And then when you need something inspected, you're waiting a week, 2 weeks. And he's like, when you buy a house, every day you're losing money that it's not back on the market. He goes, I was done. And he has good money. He made good money. But he was just like, it's just not worth my time, my energy, and the effort, because when one little thing comes up, it'll cost you tens of thousands of dollars because you're holding the note on this house. You can't put it on the market. You can't finish this. And he goes, and a lot of things, it's just waiting for somebody to sign off on it. And it's just so true. Trump talks about it all the time. Trump's a builder. He's one of those builder guys. Now, check this out. Secretary Rollins. And then I also got a graph about farmers because I heard Adam Schiff last week say the Central Valley, which is where I'm from. I'm in Fresno County right now, the ag industry of the world. I've dealt with farmers most of my life throughout different jobs I've had. I have friends that are in farming. And the only thing that really hurts farmers is the fact that regulations and not getting the water they need. They deal with weather once in a while. I always used to joke with my friend. I was like, you never hear from a farmer unless it's freezing or you're not getting any rain. Listen to what she says, because, again, an administration that wants to hear from the people, an administration that says, hey, we're up here in Washington. We don't know what you're dealing with every day. Tell us. We'll fix it. Listen to this.
Are you considering to ensure that quality losses are accurately captured in this next phase of assistance?
Yes, we are looking at that very closely and would love help, and specifically, and this is true for everybody, any farmers or ranchers in your district, I say send us their stories of too much paperwork, of too much regulation, of too much slow, whatever it is. We can't make change without fully understanding the challenges, but we would love to work with you and your team on that.
Send me, every one of your constituents that's in the farming community, send me what regulations are holding them up, what's going on. I think that's just absolutely beautiful. And then really quick, I'm going to show this one and then I'm going to go back. It says this was a Purdue Center for Commercial Agriculture, a survey from April 2025. This was to farmers. Do you expect the increased use of tariffs by the U.S. to strengthen or weaken the U.S. agriculture economy in the long run? 70%. Only 22% said it was going to weaken. 8% weren't sure, but 70%, folks. Because, again, these farmers don't want subsidies for not growing plants, crops. A lot of times in California, they're saying, oh, don't plant this and we'll give you a subsidy. So they're not even doing nothing. They're not even employing anyone. Between that and them offering money to make their farms into solar farms, which we have some friends that had that happen to them and they turned it down, even though it was a lot more money than the crops that they harvest. So take a listen to this here too.
Did not tell the last USDA to spend $600,000 studying the menstrual cycle of transgender mice. That was not a congressionally directed.
Okay.
I mean,
that's a preposterous example.
But it is actually an example. The supporting food justice for queer farmers in San Francisco. That just did not.
I love this. I love this. Transgender mice and queer food justice for queer farmers. Listen, she don't want to hear that because American didn't vote on that. Congress didn't vote on that.
Tell the last USDA to spend $600,000 studying the menstrual cycle of transgender mice. That was not a congressionally directed.
Okay.
I mean,
that's a preposterous.
And listen, that's preposterous.
Example.
But it is actually an example. The supporting food justice for queer farmers in San Francisco. That did not come from Congress.
Reclaiming my time.
I understand, but I think that's what you're saying is unfair.
When I say that, I'm reclaiming.
Just tearing them up. Just tearing them up. They can't hide. They can't find these places to be like, guess what? I'm going to ask a question about this. And then Trump's nominees. I love that. Woke DEI research. I mean, the menstruation cycle for transgender mice. The world had to hear this. Oh, my God. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz is like looking down at her notes. Where can I get her at? And has nowhere to go. Check that out. That's hilarious. See what else we got here. So as we talked about it earlier in the show, we're going to talk about some of those Epstein files, and we're also going to talk about more busts that are being made on these violent sexual child predators, guys. FBI Director Kash Patel tweeted this out just now. I can join AG Pam Bondi and the Justice Department in announcing the arrest over 200 alleged child sex predators in the last week. For the last week, the FBI and DOJ have been quietly surging operations across 55 field offices to take down criminals who target kids. We called this Operation Restore Justice. Our agents, support teams, and partners did excellent work rescuing 115 children across the country in the process. Their work undoubtedly saves lives and protected vulnerable kids from further horrific crimes. Operation Restore Justice is a powerful message. If you harm a child in America, you will be giving no sanctuary. There is nowhere you can hide. You will be hunted down and you will be prosecuted. think that's great news. So before we get into that, let me do this really quick. Check this out. Speaking of coffee, I need some. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom Coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a golden spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who have been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe in. See what else we got going on here. FBI Director Kash Patel announces that a state trooper, an illegal alien, and teachers, and a D.C. Metro Police Department officer were among those arrested for allegedly being sex predators. Let me say that again. A state trooper, an illegal alien, teachers, and a D.C. Metro Police Department officer.
Some of the harshest criminality we've ever seen.
Thank you.
First and foremost, to the Department of Justice under General Bondi's leadership and all its components. Because of your courage, we are here today protecting our most vulnerable, our children. Thank you, General Bondi. Thank you to so many of your colleagues here today that do this work tirelessly day in and day out and never get a moment's thanks. We should acknowledge all of them today. As the FBI director, I'm humbled to lead some of the bravest men and women in law enforcement. And I want to thank our 55 field offices, our 90 plus United States Attorney's offices, our CIOS section, our CRIM division here at the Department of Justice, and our field offices throughout the country with lawyers and prosecutors and agents working tirelessly on some of the harshest criminality we've ever seen. They don't take breaks because our children deserve a free and open society. I also want to just take a moment to emphasize the priority of this Department of Justice and this FBI. Our children. If you harm our children, you will be given no sanctuary. There is no place we will not come to hunt you down. There is no place we will not look for you. And there is no cage we will not put you in should you do harm to our children. The prioritization of this administration and General Bondi has made it abundantly clear to child predators, you will be hunted down and you will be prosecuted. And that is a refreshing thing to hear for the men and women who do this work tirelessly. And it's also an acknowledgement of the safety that we look forward to bringing America. As the Attorney General mentioned, there are a couple of cases worth highlighting. People in places of public trust have violated not only the law, but that public trust, to include teachers, law enforcement personnel, and other professionals that we look to safeguard our children have not only violated the law, but violated the trust. In Minneapolis, defendant Jeremy Francis Plonsky, a Minneapolis state trooper and former Army reservist, was arrested for producing child sexual abuse material while in uniform. Not anymore. In Norfolk, Virginia, defendant Jose Alexis Valdez Sosa, an illegal immigrant from Mexico, again, allegedly arrested for transporting a minor across state lines. No more. Another example, right here in Washington, D.C., in the Metropolitan Police Department, Officer Linwood Barnhill, a former already convicted sex offender, was arrested again for exploiting more victims, more children, while on supervised release. These are just three examples that show you the extent and the depravity of these horrific crimes. And we need to team up together with the American public to find the rest. I want to give a special thanks to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for the tireless work they do in partnering with us. And again, I want to thank the Department of Justice and all these folks here. And Pam, thank you for never wavering to defend our children.
So it's great to finally be seeing this. The last administration, Biden didn't care about the children. There's 300,000 missing children, many of them in the sex trade that he put into the sex trade with the help of Secretary Mayorkas. And I think this is huge. Now, on the Epstein files, I'm going to get into my opinion on this. I've kind of gone back and forth on my opinion, but listen to what she says about the Epstein files.
Least it's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now.
James Comer said yesterday that all the Epstein files are missing. They still haven't heard from you.
No, the FBI, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that. I haven't seen that statement, but I'll call him later and find out.
So, now there is some people that say, hey, this should have been released already. Why haven't we released this? Is it going to be released? Comer came out. What was it? Let me see if I can find Comer, what Comer said. I think it was on the Blaze. Maybe I'm wrong. I listen to a lot of podcasts to try to educate my mom. Oh, Benny Johnson listens to this.
You on the Epstein files, obviously. That's like finding a unicorn in Washington, D.C. You have come on and talked about that on this program, just for the sake of transparency, which is very big for you. And so, in closing, any motion on that, any movement on that? We hear that there's a timeline now.
I hope James has the Epstein files, because I don't think the Department of Justice has them, or at least the Attorney General does not have them, or she would have turned them over. The President ordered them released. The Attorney General ordered them released. We all know they have not been released. And one of my biggest fears that I had, and I expressed this was Kash Patel and a lot of people, Stephen Miller, and a lot of people going into the new administration. I'm like, I hope they're not shredding documents right now. This was a few.
So there is some speculation, and we've talked about this speculation that those documents have been shredded, that the previous FBI, along with the previous administration, covered tracks because there was a lot of information that would have got a lot of people in trouble. Now let's go back to what Pam Bondi said. Now, part of me thinks like this. I have some friends, when this is a very big case. So would you agree that this could be, if it's everything it's panned out to be, let's say that the files are not deleted, they weren't shredded, this would probably be the biggest case in American history? I could see that. I could also see that they put the cart in front of the horse and said, hey, we're going to release these. And then they get in there and they're like, oh, cow, maybe a lot of documents were destroyed, but they have all these tapes and they're going through them now. And they're saying, hey, you know what? We can't release anything because it's going to hamper our investigation. It's going to hamper a prosecution. We want to get these folks. Now, because I have heard that from people that I would trust. Harmeet Dillon talking about, she is now the U.S. Attorney for Civil Rights. She was talking about some of the people they're going after. She couldn't give out names. She says, I promise you there will be prosecutions, but we don't want to just put out charges without having all the evidence. We want the charges to stick. So are we in one of those positions right now where they have some evidence? Maybe some of it was destroyed. I'm sure some of it was destroyed. I said that before Trump took office. I was a little upset that that was all Epstein before his inauguration. Like, tell you what, if I was high in power and I was one of those sick tards, I would have called somebody in the Biden administration, said, hey, you got to get rid of this stuff. That's all they're talking about. That's all the influencers are talking about. But does Pam Bondi's comment today mean that we are going to see something soon rather than later? How long is it going to take? Because again, I would rather it take a little longer. And this is not my opinion on what I think's happening. I'm saying this. I think we're all in this general area of I would rather see it take a little longer and get some prosecutions out of it than just to release some names and who was doing this and who was doing that. Nothing ever come up with it, right? It seems like that's what we have dealt with Republicans for as long as I can remember. We're going to hold a hearing on this, and then we're going to say some really tough words to you in the hearing, and nothing will ever come up. We've seen that with Fauci when he lied under oath before he was pardoned. We've seen all these things. We see it constantly. We need to come back to some true law and order. I think that's what Trump wants. I think it'll be interesting to find out. Listen to how she says it here. I want you to listen to how she says it. Wish I could hear the question.
No, the FBI, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that. I haven't seen that statement, but I'll call.
So you have to ask yourself, I think when we've talked about it over the years, he recorded a lot of very prominent people and used those videos as blackmail. So if that's the videos they have, we could see something big happening. We could see something big happening. Or Pixie says, I doubt it. She's full of crap. I don't know. I don't want to, again, what we've seen in the first 100 days of the Trump administration, if you would have asked me the day before Inauguration Day how much stuff will be done in the first 100 days, I would have said maybe 10% of what's been done. It's amazing what he's done with DOJ, the Department of Education, the border, just so many things. So there's a lot on our list that we got to work on. Maybe folks are right, and nothing will ever come of it. Maybe if we give it some time, maybe we'll see something. I'm hoping for the latter of the two, and we'll have to see how that goes. What else do we got? Kristi Noem, outside of Governor Pritzker's mansion, near Governor Pritzker's mansion, held a little get-together with some of the victims of illegal alien crime. I want you to watch this.
State. The results have been absolutely disastrous for people who live here. In 2020, Governor Pritzker expanded access to taxpayer-funded free health care for illegal aliens. It has cost the citizens of Illinois $1.6 billion. He has been incentivizing illegals to come here and to live in this state. In 2021, Pritzker ordered local officials to stop cooperating and working with our ICE officers. In 2022, there were at least 400 to 500,000 illegal aliens in this state, and we know that there's even more here today. This governor has bragged about Illinois being a firewall against President Trump's immigration enforcement agenda. And it is very clear that he is violating the Constitution of the United States because it is a federal law that the federal government and the president set and enforce immigration policies. Let me give you just a few examples of the criminals who have been allowed to roam free because of Governor Pritzker's sanctuary policies. In 2020, while Pritzker was in office, a 34-year-old illegal alien in Mexico was released by the city of Chicago after committing theft. He'd already been deported, he was a convicted felon, and they let him get away. He then went on to sexually assault a 3-year-old girl in a McDonald's bathroom. And in February of this year, 2 illegal aliens were arrested after they murdered a 63-year-old man. They lured him to his death using a dating app, tied him up in his apartment, and killed him. They then used his credit card and his phones and spent over $4,000 before they were arrested. And just earlier this week, ICE finally arrested and took into federal custody an illegal alien who had been arrested 16 times in Chicago and had been continuously released over and over again. What's worse is that all of these arrests have happened between October of 2023 and November of 2024. All of these occurred under Governor Pritzker's watch, and he largely excused all of this crime under the guise of running a sanctuary state and supported policies that prevent local law enforcement officers to work with our ICE officers to get families justice.
So, again, they are going to be going. I think we got an interview or video here in a little while of Tom Homan and some of the things he's saying. I do believe we're going to the point. Did I ever think we would get here, even if Trump was elected before, where we're arresting? I know we talk a lot, but where we're arresting city leaders, mayors, governors. I think we might get to that point. And I'm surprised I'm saying it because I've always said arrest the bastard, right? Thinking it's going to happen. I hope so. This is the response from Pritzker. It says, statement from Governor Pritzker on Illinois standing up to Kristi Noem's unlawful actions. Unlike Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, Illinois follows the law. The Trump administration is violating the United States Constitution, denying people due process, and disappearing law-abiding neighbors, including children who are U.S. citizens, yet they are taking no real action to promote public safety and deport violent criminals within the clear and defined legal process. Actually, they're doing it all the time. Rapists, murderers, drug dealers, cartel members, you name it. Trump Noem publicity stunts do not make our communities safer or our immigration system smarter. Illinois doesn't need to abuse the power or ignore the Constitution to keep our people safe. Like the millions of Americans asking for sensible, humane immigration reform, I encourage the secretary to spend less time performing for Fox News and more time protecting the homeland. Secretary Noem must have not realized she was visiting during Latino Unity Day, where we come together to celebrate the vibrancy of diversity of our community. Today, Secretary Noem was met by force stronger than here, the people of Illinois. Illinoisians are sending a clear message to Trump's lackeys that we will not let you mess with us without a resistance. This is the same one, the same governor that called for people, said, I've never asked for this before, but I want people to go to the streets. Again, this is where they're firing up their crowds. Then just 1 week after that, we covered yesterday, both University of Washington, Portland, the college in Portland, Oregon, Antifa's back out there. They're doing their fires. They're chasing elderly people, threatening them, doing damage, vandalism. This is what Democrats want right now. And I would love to see him behind bars. Anybody that goes against the American people. And again, even when they don't make it here to the United States, guys, a lot of times, a lot of people that come over to the United States, they don't make it here. Whether it's the Darien Gap, people just dying, food, drowning. Check this out. This was from Cinco de Mayo. A group of illegal immigrants paid $13,000 each. Remember, these people can't afford food, but they're paying the cartel, the coyotes, $13,000 each to be smuggled in. So don't let this fool you. Don't let the narrative fool you. We've been down there before. You've seen how they were dressed. You've seen their new cell phones. Hell, half the time, those people that were coming across the border had a newer cell phone than I did, and I use my cell phone for a living to bring you guys the videos you guys watch. It says, on Cinco de Mayo, a group of illegal immigrants paid $13,000 each to be smuggled by boat from Mexico into the United States. Among them was the Patel family from India. Now devastated by unimaginable loss, the family's 14-year-old son drowned. Their 10-year-old daughter is missing and presumed dead at the sea. The father is in a coma. The mother is on life support at San Diego Hospital. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, announced late Tuesday that she will urge the Department of Justice to pursue the death penalty against the two men accused of organizing the deadly smuggling operation, believed to be part of a larger human trafficking ring operating out of Mexico. 8 illegal aliens who survived the capsized Panga boat escaped in waiting vehicles, but were later located and arrested in a Chula Vista home. The getaway driver was arrested as well.
Shows the moment a Panga tried to make its way to shore at
Let me see if I can get that bigger. I don't think I can.
Torrey Pines State Beach Monday morning, overturning as it moved through rough surf and rainy conditions. People on board thrown into the water, struggling for several minutes as they tried to make it to land safely.
Remember when we were down there in San Diego, we got a friend from a call from a great patriot of ours down there. And they said, hey, me and Robert were in the hotel. Hey, there was a boat that capsized. We went down there. We brought that to you live. This is something that they're going to be trying every route they can. They're going to be trying to get in here by any means possible. And we need to be ahead of that game and protect. Check this out. ICE going into D.C., guys. This is what I love to see. Listen to this.
General panic amongst
Millie's owner says agents asked to see I-9 forms.
It's very concerning. The employees are very scared. We're worried about some of them not coming back to work. And just a general panic amongst the people that it affects.
So to me, that would be he's already admitted to being guilty for harboring, right? If you're a legal citizen and you have the right to work in the United States and ICE comes in there, I'm just telling you, if I was a waiter, I'd be like, hey, it's ICE, let's serve them, just like I would anybody else. But if your employees are scared to go back to work, there's a reason for it. And I love ICE doing this. I think it needs to happen more often. We need to set a new tone in this country. If you're here illegally, I'm sorry. We don't feel bad for you. We are done. We are absolutely done with this.
Millie's owner says agent.
So that's in D.C. I think that's great. You know what? This is a new one for me. Check this one out. See what it says here. Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to NBA 2K25, the daily live event where the intensity of the NBA playoff comes straight to your screen. Every day, we spotlight all the teams that have made it to the playoffs, capturing every electrifying moment from jaw-dropping buzzer beaters to horrendous dunks. Imagine sitting courtside as the action unfolds in real time. That puts you right in the middle of the excitement. Whether you're backing your favorite team or just love the raw energy of high-stakes basketball, NBA 2K25 delivers the pulse of playoff action like no other. So gear up, get comfortable, and join us live because every play, every pass, and every moment matters. Your ultimate courtside experience starts now. Interesting. As we get close to the end of the show, yeah, we are close to the end of the show. Ocean County, New Jersey, last week, Falconeri Alfaro Baldean was arrested for aggravated sexual assault of a victim under 13. He has an immigration detainer hold. I thought they were just here to pick vegetables. That's what Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff says. Let's see what this says. There it is. Immigration detainer hold, aggravated sexual assault, endangering the welfare of a child, sexual assault. Man. You know, you won't see any of this on mainstream media. And how about this? What's your message to the 3 illegals on the loose who were involved in the attack on NYPD officers? Take a listen to Tom Holman.
We're coming for them. And these are the I want to explain something.
So what's your message to those 3 illegals? I hate the word migrant, by the way. I don't even want to use it. They're illegal aliens. Okay, that's what they are. But the 3 of them who are still on the loose, your message to them tonight?
We're coming for them. And these are the I want to explain something. These are the type of people that AOC brags why I'm educating people to their constitutional rights. We all know what she's doing. She's educating illegal alien criminals how to invade law enforcement. But you know, now I'm going to do a little education myself. You don't want to open the door. You don't want to answer a question. You don't want to help us with the travel documents and get you removed. That's a violation of Title 8, United States Code 1253. It is a crime. And we're going to start prosecuting those crimes tomorrow. So if you got a final order and you want to hinder your removal, you want to put roadblocks up and not cooperate, you want to hide, you want to not open the door, then the agency's going to start prosecuting you criminally. Then after you get out of jail from that prosecution, then we'll deport you. Game's over. We're going to look for these public safety threats, and we're going to take them off the streets in New York and every other sanctuary city. As a matter of fact, every sanctuary city, we're going to triple the workforce. We're going to flood the zone with officers. If we can't arrest them in the jail, we'll arrest them in the community. If we can't arrest them in the community, we'll arrest them at their work site. We're going to triple work site enforcement operations. We're going to flood the zone.
Triple work site enforcement operations. Again, this is going to be a great thing for American citizens when it's all said and done. And Tom Holman stated, this was yesterday, right? Was this yesterday? Yeah, this was yesterday, saying, hey, be ready. And we've heard this multiple other places too. I mean, I think it was Bill Malugin that said, let me see if that's where we got that information at last night. I've slept since then. See. Oh, he did have a good story to tell. Bill Malugin did. It says, we often report when local jurisdictions don't honor ICE detainers in Massachusetts. It's also important to report when they do honor them. ICE says Worcester, Maryland District Court transferred a Guatemalan illegal alien, alleged child sex predator, into their custody and honored their detainer on him. He's been facing 5 counts of sexually assaulting a child. ICE is praising the cooperation. We are happy that our law enforcement partners opted to honor our immigration detainer against Barcenas Velasquez. So that's a good one. So join us a little later, but before we go, guys, you have an opportunity. We have a raffle going on this week. We are trying to get our bills paid, and then we're going to do something to hopefully get to DC for next month, a little over 5 weeks away. We want to get down there for the military parade that will be going through the streets of DC, bring that to you live. But first, we got to get the bills paid. So your donations is what keep us on the air. We say thank you. Anybody who donates now until we do the raffle, every $10 donation gets you 1 entry. So if you do $30, that gets you 3 entries. Check it out what it's for right here. It's for this. One of the items is for the most epic, iconic photo probably in the history of the United States. Again, it's the great fights photo with Trump having blood on his face from being shot in the ear, nearly assassinated. It's 12 by 15, and it says Donald Trump, 45th and 47th President of the United States of America. And it tells where he was born, when he was born, and his political party as Republican. In quotations, it says fight, and it says Donald Trump, July 13th, 2024, Butler, Pennsylvania. So that, and then we got this fun little card game here. Trump cards. So what this is, it says it's the wackiest card game ever. It has quotes on there that supposedly came from Donald Trump, and you have to guess whether it's fake news or if Trump actually said it. So if you guys want to get into these raffles, again, we'll be doing it either Friday or this weekend. The raffle, we do it live on here. Everything's random, done through a computer-generated model. You guys can donate at Venmo, at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And then if you use online banking and you want to do a Zelle transfer, our Zelle link is on our website at theoreoexpress.com. Scroll down our homepage. It says donate now, and it'll have those links. I think we got a couple during this show. I know Micro Taz is in for 2. Haha's in. Texas Bigfoot did it on a Rumble rant, so he got 2 entries on there. You can also do it on the Rumble rant. If you do Rumble, that will also get you brought in. So I want to say thank you for everybody tuning in right now. We will be back live in a couple hours, so make sure your notifications are on. Stay tuned. We will see you later. And we just want to say once again, thank you guys for tuning in and sharing out, guys. We appreciate you. We can't do it without you.
Well, hop aboard the Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you.